guys. Welcome to Coffee Combos. Lindsie, I feel like you're far away from me today.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm close.
Okay.
Okay.
So June, it's still June. It's still Pride Month, and we're super excited because I have another friend of mine here on the podcast today. Her name is Nick.
Hey.
So welcome to Coffee Combos Podcast.
Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being on Coffee Combos? Did you ever listen to us before?
You know, I listened to it when Kel put me on to it.
Okay.
And I started watching, and I am really excited to be here. One, not only because I developed a friendship with Kel, but I get to meet you. And
So you really wanted to meet me?
Yeah. Well, because
I'm so
she's
glad.
been helping me put the Coffee Combos videos on my YouTube channel.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been like behind the scenes, and you didn't even know it.
And I didn't even know
So
it.
like, obviously, I needed to meet you.
But obviously, I think that happens a lot. I think there's a lot of behind the scenes that I don't know about some stuff. And I like it to stay that way.
Exactly. You
She
know,
gets
your
overwhelmed.
brain full.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Kale gives me anxiety.
Oh, so you need some of that CBD hair care
Yes. Because it needs to soak
do.
right into
into the
her
skin.
brain.
I do. I need something. Something more than what I'm doing now. Well, it is so nice to meet you. I'm so glad that you're on, and I'm so glad to be able to hear about your story.
I'm excited to share it with you guys.
So I think we met on Twitter, kind of, right?
Mm-hmm.
I followed
Again?
Yes,
Yep.
because I am part of the Twitterverse, like meeting new
It's a
people and just like
I'm part of Twitter
intermingling.
too, but not in the same aspect as you are.
I'm not meeting random people. I'm meeting other people, other influencers, YouTubers, people that do the same type of thing that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Not like randoms.
But I don't really
Also, I would probably be
talk to
friends
anybody
with
that does the same thing as we do.
You wouldn't?
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying I don't.
Yeah. Like,
You know
Kind
what I
of.
mean?
Like
Like,
you're
on Twitter
friends
and
with
stuff?
you're friends with people that have done The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. You're friends with people who have done Teen Mom and other shows. So that's not necessarily
Yeah,
true.
I guess.
But maybe you
like,
didn't meet them on Twitter.
Well, I met you on Twitter, kind of.
True.
see?
See, it's not that weird.
But I feel like it's just different. I don't know.
Because I just
Because Kale just like talks to everybody.
I love
Yeah.
it.
And I don't.
I feel you. I mean,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
kind of like that too. Like, I don't just talk to everybody. I'm kind of more low key, but
Kale's a slide into the DMers, you know?
Okay, but I
Yeah.
did not slide it. Let's clarify. I did not slide
I'm
into
not
mixed
saying
DMs
that.
because I'm also friends with her fiance, and that
I
is
know.
not
I'm
the case.
I'm not saying like that. I'm not saying in a sexual way. I'm just saying Kale is like us in all aspects a slide into your DMers.
I don't think that I'm that aggressive or ballsy.
you know, you actually gave me motivation to slide into people's DMs. Not only because you respond to people's DMs, and I used to be like that
Who
social
does
media
that,
person
you
that
know?
does not respond.
That's me.
You know, so I started sliding into people's DMs,
Right.
and that's actually how I got an interview with Amanda Perez.
Because the worst that they can say is no or not answer it.
Exactly.
The worst. You know what I mean? So best case scenario, they're going to say yes. They're going to get the interview. You're going to get to, network. So why not?
Exactly.
But what do you slide into DMs about? Like,
Well-
how does that start? Like, where do you even like go?
For Nick, I mean, we just communicated on social media, and then when I met her in Dallas, the same time I met Reagan, we filmed a video for her YouTube channel. So it's kind of like cross-promoting each
Oh,
other's
I got
brands
it.
and like
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it
that's
worked.
so cool.
Yeah.
So what did you guys film about?
We interviewed Kale.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you got to see that.
What
on
was
YouTube.
that like?
Oh, that was different.
So it was
That
different.
cool. It was like a on the whim interview, so we were like crammed in this corner. Me and my friend actually shared a seat when we were interviewing, so it was kind of awkward. But
Yeah,
we
it was-
made it happen though.
Yeah, no, it worked.
Kale can be an awkward person. She says she's not. And
No,
she
I
says she's
am.
not weird. But
I'm not
Kale
weird,
is.
but definitely awkward because
Yeah,
I just am weird like
yeah.
that.
Hey, Team Pisces, we weird.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're Pisces too.
Yeah.
And I think her
Why am I always
her
around
fiance
these?
is a Virgo.
Yep. She's a
Oh
Virgo.
really?
Are
I'm
you
a Virgo. Yeah, I am.
So we vibing.
Yeah. When's your fiance's birthday?
September 5th,
Okay, I'm the 17th.
17th. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go
cool.
September, go Virgo. Shout out fiance.
Hey.
Shout out fiance. So what we really wanted to talk to you about was the adoption story that I came across on your Twitter.
Yes.
So Nick has this incredible adoption story that she put into a thread on her Twitter, and you can obviously plug your Twitter so people can go find it and read it. And I bawled my eyes out, and I don't really before I even knew her, I think I read it. Right?
Oh yeah, probably because it's pinned on my Twitter.
Yeah.
right now.
So I'm pretty sure I came across it before we met, and I cried. And I don't think I ever told you that, but it was just like I felt.
Kale's also a very emotional person.
Pisces. We're sensitive.
Right.
Sensitive emotionals, but I love her.
So I really just wanted to give you another kind of platform to talk about it. And we don't really get to talk about adoption a whole lot on our podcast. I mean, we've touched on it here
but
and
it's been requested.
Yeah, it has. So I definitely think that you should share your story.
Yeah, for sure. Like, really, I started looking for my biological family only because I was I had a health scare. So, and it wasn't a big one. I had to have my appendix removed. But when I was going under the knife, the doctor was like asking me all these questions.
Family history.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, maybe I should know these things. Like, I'm about to get cut
But you
open.
knew you were adopted at this time.
Yeah, I knew I was adopted. I found out probably around second grade. My parents told me because I was getting bullied at school for not looking like them, you know.
Okay.
And
different ethnicity or what?
Yeah, my parents are both Hispanic, so you know, I was I'm mixed, half black, half Mexican, but you know, in school I was pretty dark as a kid.
Sure.
And they were like, "Those aren't your parents; those are your grandparents." And I was like, "Man, these aren't my parents." And I finally went home and I was letting them know that I was getting bullied, and they were like, "Oh, well, you have the best of both worlds." And it was kind of interesting the way my adopted mom introduced me to me being adopted. Is she bought a Cabbage Patch doll. And you have to adopt them. They come with like a little birth certificate. Yeah, so she
Honey,
was like,
I've been to Cabbage Patch Land. I know about it. I have a Cabbage Patch.
There's a Cabbage Patch Land?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was land.
I probably got a used one as a kid.
They have a general hospital for Cabbage Patch babies, and I've been there.
Okay, that's dope, and I need to visit
You
Cabbage
should,
Patch Land.
for sure.
Like, hello. But, yeah, so she explained that to me, and I guess fast forward to today, you know, I had to have the surgery. I got curious, and I made a video with the little cards. You know, you write on the sign, and you don't say anything. You just let people read the cards. I knew that would go viral, and it did. And,
I've seen this.
Yeah.
So it went viral, and this lady reached out to me. Her name is Jerry, and apparently she lost her son a long time ago to CPS and never got him back. And after she cleaned up her life and everything,
she still never got him back?
Still never got him back, doesn't know where he is, stuff like that. So she started this foundation called America's Taken, and just kind of like exposing that industry because it's kind of janky. And she's like, I help people reunite for a living, and I would like to help you. And she reached out to some lady. I forgot her name. I wish I knew her name right now. But she reached out to her, and she called her a search angel, and she lived in Houston, Texas. She found my family within like 5 minutes. And
5 minutes?
5 minutes after sending the information. She was like, send me all that you know about yourself, about your biological family, like anything that can help me.
I literally have chills.
I know, I literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you buy a t-shirt for $50 if you knew it only cost $7 to make? Because we wouldn't, and that's why we love Everlane. With Everlane, you never overpay for quality clothes. What's not to love about that?
Everlane only makes premium essentials using the best materials without traditional markups. And they want you to know what you're paying for and why. So they'll tell you the real cost. And they are radically transparent about every step of the process, from the materials they use to the ethical factories that they work with.
Everlane's clothes look better, cost less, and last longer because Everlane sells directly to you. Their prices are 30 to 50% lower than traditional retailers. Essentials like their Cotton Crew t-shirt are exactly what they should be: simple, stylish, and made from quality materials. They have a 100% grade A cashmere, quality cotton basics, sustainable silks, premium Japanese denim made from the world's cleanest denim factory, Italian-made leather shoes, outerwear made from recycled water bottles.
My favorite Everlane items are the denim skirts that I ordered. I wore one when Kayla and I were in New York City a few weekends ago. Just super traditional. The denim's awesome. I have it in black as well. And I have now switched my wallet over to a travel wallet from Everlane, and I am obsessed with it. So right now you can check out our personalized collection at everlane.com/coffee. Plus you'll get free shipping on your first order. That's everlane.com/coffee. everlane.com/coffee.
Take us back for a second, because when your mom came to you with the Cabbage Patch doll, what was your reaction to finding out that you were even adopted? Because I feel like
as a child that would be hard to process.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a tender age. Like, what was the reaction like? What was that like?
My first reaction was like, I trusted everything my parents told me. Like, we've always been open, And my reaction was just like, oh, okay, so what do I tell these kids at school, basically?
Oh, wow. So you were not, like, upset or anything like that?
No, I was too young to be upset.
Right.
You know, so they were like, my mom was like, tell them you have the best of both worlds, you know. And that's what I went to school telling people. I was just like, man, I got the best of both worlds, and you don't. You know, like,
right.
Yeah.
So it didn't really faze me, and I think it's because I was so young and not young like a teenager young.
Right.
You know,
because I feel like that's like a time where it might be a little bit
yeah,
harder and unpredictable about how they're going to react.
Exactly. So like it was divine timing, I guess.
Do you have other siblings that are also adopted into your family, or does your parents have biological children?
No, so my family could not have kids, and that's why I was adopted. And ours was a closed adoption. My biological mother was 18 at the time, and she could not like raise me like under her circumstances.
Sure.
And so I went up for adoption, and they actually worked at Walmart together, and they linked up, and it was a closed adoption.
Oh wait, so they knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
So why didn't your mom help you find your biological mom?
She was going to. I just was never interested because I had such a good family. I wasn't missing anything.
Sure.
You know, so I just kind of went on about my life, and I cared so much about my adopted mom. I didn't want to do anything to hurt her, you know, and she ended up passing away, and I felt a little more comfortable to do it. You know, had she been alive, I don't know if the situation would still been the same.
Sure.
But she ended up passing away, and still I didn't look for them. But when I went to the hospital, I was like, man, I should probably know just for my own well-being.
Right.
You know, and yeah, so.
So you didn't find your biological mom until your adoptive mom passed.
Yeah, I didn't even
I could understand that. Why you would. It's almost like a respect thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a respect thing. Like, we talked about it. We had those conversations all the time. She told me her name. I knew her name for a long time. And, you know, I wasn't for sure because time was going on, and then she had passed away, so I couldn't ask any more questions.
Sure.
But before she passed away, she was like, if you need to find your biological mom, go to your aunt. She knows more info. Go to this person. They know info and stuff like that. But she was like, at any point, if you want to find them, I will help you.
So she set you up for success.
Mm-hmm.
What was your dad's role in all of this? Because he was still alive at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my dad's still alive, and he is so supportive. Like, he's so dope. He did whatever my mom said. Like, my mom was the boss, I think.
Yeah.
And so my dad is just like backdooring her. Like, yeah, if you need help, I'll help you. Obviously, he was more protective. So it's crazy because my biological mother used to come and visit me up until like at least the first year. And then my dad kind of cut her off, like, hey, we need to raise her by ourselves now. Right. You know, so can't come around anymore. And then we ended up moving to Corpus Christi, Texas for a little while, and then coming back to Dallas.
So was there any type of change in relationship between you and your dad at all once you did finally meet your biological mom?
No, it wasn't. And I was nervous about that, but I was like, Dad, I need you here. Like, I was real adamant on him being a partner with me and finding this. Like we're doing this together.
That's your family. That's what you know.
Exactly. And I was like, nothing's going to change the fact that you're my dad. You know, like, that's not going to change anything. You are my dad. You are my parent. You're the person who raised me. So I need you with me, you know? And he's like, I'm there with you.
So, okay, wow. That's like so much to take in at one time. But
I know. Yeah.
So has your let me not say that word because he raised you. Your dad, has he reconnected with your biological mom then since you have? Or they keep everything separate? Yeah,
we've had dinner together more than once. I celebrated my 30th birthday with both of them. He's been to my mom's house. So it's really, he's around, you know. He ain't going nowhere. He's still my dad, and they link up just like normal people. I mean, my dad is old enough to be my mom's dad. You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so my mom's 50 and my dad's already 72. So, yeah, so there's a big age difference, and my dad is just like, I just want you to have a nice life. He's so happy that I found my brothers. He's like that was his main concern. I was brought up as the only child, and then him leaving this earth and not having anyone. You know? So
your biological mom had other children?
Yeah, so my biological mom had 2 other kids, and we're all from the same mom, same dad. 2 of us went up for adoption.
Why?
So my biological father was older than she was, and she told me that she was just like really naive when she got pregnant. And so I went up for adoption first. I was the oldest. And then she ended up keeping our middle brother. And, I was kind of curious about that. So I asked my mom, like, why'd you keep the middle one? And she said that our father convinced her that he was going to be around for her. Like, I'm going to help you raise this child. Don't give it up for adoption. So pretty much he is the reason why she kept him. And she got pregnant again. And at that time, she was pregnant. And so was, like, the next door neighbor or something. And it was, like, bad, and she was like, man, I'm not doing this again with him, and I'm finally going to leave your father at this point.
Okay, so in a nutshell, it's more like, okay, so they were together, probably not healthy, young, put you up for adoption,
got pregnant again,
thinking that it's going to get better. I feel like as a lot of unhealthy relationships go, I mean, I've been in one just like that, where you think that they're going to change, they show you some type of change, you realize it's not changing, but now you already had this child, get pregnant again, and it's like, okay, we're not doing this again.
Right.
Okay, so that can, make some type of sense. Let's take a minute to talk about getting a bargain. Who doesn't love a deal? And thanks to Poshmark, you can get awesome clothes for amazing prices.
Here's the scoop. Poshmark is an app you can download where you can buy gently used or even new with tag items that people are selling for a fraction of the retail price. Plus, you can list the items from your own closet that you no longer want or need to make money. I personally have started a Poshmark account. I haven't loaded anything on it yet, but I have so many clothes that I've worn maybe one time, taken photos in them, and now people probably don't want to see me in them, or I don't want to see myself in them. So look out for me this summer, because I promise I'm going to be like having a little Poshmark shop for you guys to shop.
Even I'm thinking about listing some of my stuff so that you guys can grab those. Shopping on Poshmark is amazing because they have a ton of cool items and all the brands that you can think of, like Nike, Abercrombie, J. Crew, and designer brands like Louis Vuitton.
And today, if you download the Poshmark app and use our invite code Coffee Combos, you'll get $5 off your first purchase. That's invite code Coffee Combos when you sign up. Invite code Coffee Combos.
Do you feel resentment in any way for her keeping your brother and not you and your other brother?
A lot of people ask me that, but I think I'm so content. Like, I was so happy, like, where I was, that there's no hard feelings. I'm glad if you didn't feel like you were up for it. I'm so glad you gave me the parents that I had, because they were phenomenal. I had everything I wanted. I mean, not everything, but, for the most part,
yeah, you had a great
I was
life.
a happy kid. Yeah. So there wasn't a lack thereof at all. When I found out she kept my middle brother, I was just like, man, I can't believe, like, how he would have been brought up to know that he had siblings, because my mom told him everything, basically. And so he was alone. So
he was brought up as an only child as well. Was your youngest brother who was put up for adoption?
Yeah.
All of y'all grew up as only children?
Yeah, all of us. Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. And one crazy thing is the other one that went up for adoption, they called my family. My family couldn't afford him and didn't end up taking him in.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know that
was
happened.
Probably heartbreaking for your parents, too, because they probably would have loved to.
Absolutely.
If they could have.
Yeah. I was talking to my dad this morning, actually, and I told him, I was like, wouldn't it have been so cool to have raised both of us? And he was like, man, I wish I had the money at the time. I didn't think I could do it. He's like, I really regret that.
So because your moms knew each other, was there a ton of like fees involved and all, like, how in adoption today, I mean, you could spend over $50,000 to adopt a child. Was it the same then? Is that what the money situation was, or you're not really sure?
I'm not sure, but I doubt it, because it was 89. So I don't think the fees were the same. Like, I got all my adoption paperwork, and I know they had to go through a lawyer and stuff, but it was a closed adoption, so I didn't go through like foster or anything like that. Literally the day I was born, I was handed off to my family.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's similar to, I mean, you're familiar with Teen Mom. One of the girls on Teen Mom OG gave her daughter up for adoption the day that she was born. I think.
But I feel like that's the way to do it in a responsible way, because it's like you're setting that child up for success, and it's not getting so many emotions.
Right.
I mean, it's emotional, but like not getting all the emotions involved of like becoming attached to the child and then having to have them move environments. And,
Well, there was a girl on 16 and Pregnant. I don't remember her name. Ashley, I think. She had her aunt or her cousin adopt her baby, but like went back and forth and like brought the baby home and then like decided she wanted to keep her and then changed her mind like a couple weeks later and then like went back and forth. And now I don't know if it's the aunt or the cousin or someone in the family raises the daughter. And then she went on to have more kids later on.
I think that when you get pregnant and the choice is adoption, I think you have to make an adult decision of it's not about your feelings anymore. It's about what's the most healthy thing for the child.
Yeah.
And not, can I live with this? Can I not? And go back and forth because that's not healthy for you or the baby, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but I was adopted as an adult. And so, lots of emotions went into that for me, only because I know my biological mother and I lived with my dad growing up and his wife. And I feel like looking back on it, doing it, I feel like my parents had such a bad relationship that neither of them liked each other. And so I felt like a product of my mother and living under the same roof as my dad, his current wife, and other children, that I always felt like a sense of I didn't fit there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And because of the hostility between my parents, I felt like maybe the way to end all of that would be just to get adopted. Mm-hmm. And then that would fix all of the problems. And it never fixed the problems because I felt like it was too far. And I've talked so much about it to other friends that if you're going to go through an adoptive situation and make it the type of situation that you've had, that ideally you do that from birth and you don't have that relationship with the other parent, because then you're always going to go back to what you know, you're just going to go back to what you know. And biologically, I don't know why, but I feel like so many people that are in adoptive situations, even though they have a great life, they still want to know more.
Right.
Because it's like where they came from.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like,
I wasn't adopted, but I didn't know my dad. So my whole life I spent time wondering, like, what was it like? Who is he? What is he? Where do we come from?
Right.
Met him one time, and then I was like, well, that didn't really work out. But I still, even now, like, want to know. So it's like the mystery. But what is their relationship like with your mom now? Because I know that she was going to be here today, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, our relationship is pretty cool. Like, we are very much alike. I didn't know that DNA was going to have
That's
us,
what
like,
I was going to ask.
It is insane how much alike we are, and I see where I get a lot of my personality traits from. She's actually a very successful person. She dedicated her whole life to be successful in case we came back. She's like, I did all that I could just to make sure that when y'all found me, y'all wouldn't find me like bummy or anything like that.
Right, like she really took the time to get her whole life together.
Yeah, she like really got it together.
What is the relationship now between her and your biological father?
They're not together. They're cordial. My biological father's kind of a rolling stone. He's still not settled down. I've met him already, and I could tell that he's just not a family guy. Like, it's
Peter
not his
Pan.
thing. Yeah, it's
just
not
not
his
for
thing.
him. So did he help raise your brother that she raised, or was he kind of like in and out?
What he was kind of in and out, and that's what kind of sucks for my younger brother is that he was in and out of his life, I think, until 6, and then just kind of ghosted.
Oh, wow.
And see, that's hard, because then you look at the situation as a whole and you're like, okay, you went to a functional family that you didn't have that in and out. Mm-hmm. And then the younger, did he go to a functional family that didn't have the in and out?
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. So then you have the middle child that had to deal with, the in and out and not the stability.
Mm-hmm. That's already hard enough as a middle child, I'm sure.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
From what I've heard.
I was raised as an only child too. So,
right.
that's really crazy.
Have you guys ever wondered how your friend on social media can afford that fancy vacation, or how your best friend can get that fancy leather bag? It's probably credit cards, if we're being honest.
And Lending Club wants to help people deal with the crazy credit card bills. It's a leading platform you can use to consolidate your credit cards and pay off the debt in one fixed monthly payment.
It's super simple. Just go to lendingclub.com and tell them about yourself, how much you want to borrow, pick the terms that are right for you, and if you're approved, your loan is automatically deposited into your bank account in as little as a few days.
Since 2007, Lending Club has helped millions of people regain control of their finances with no trips to the bank and no high-interest credit cards. I bet a lot of you know how frustrating credit card debt can be, so it's empowering to be able to do something about it. Lending Club is the #1 peer-to-peer lending platform with over $35 billion in loans issued.
Go to lendingclub.com/combos, check your rate in minutes, and borrow up to $40,000. That's lendingclub.com/combos. lendingclub.com/combos. All loans made by WebBank member FDIC equal housing lender.
So when you went into meeting her, did she kind of already know that you were popular on social media and had your own YouTube channel? And did you talk to her about like kind of telling your story?
She didn't know at all. Like, she saw the video because the girl who found me on Facebook, Jerry, who reached out to the search angel, she acted as a communicator between me and my biological family in case something went wrong. So, like, in case they were like, nah, we don't want to meet her, you know, she would tell me and said them. So, she didn't know. She saw the video. She knew that the video went viral, but she didn't know that I was doing my thing, like, on YouTube and stuff.
Right.
So it's kind of a new light for her, and she's fully supportive of it. She's actually really proud of everything that I've accomplished. But yeah, it's all new to her, so she's kind of timid.
I was going to say, would you film with her or no?
Yeah, she wants to do a Q&A on my channel, so she's down.
That.
She's down for everything. Like, she's super down. Like, really, she wants to, like, I feel like she wants to just dedicate the rest of her life to getting to know us, because she's missed out so much. And yeah, it's just really wild. Our relationship's really good. Matter of fact, she lives with me right now.
Oh.
Yeah, she hasn't aired it out or anything like that, but she's in a rough patch in her marriage. And, you know, luckily I just got a house last year, so, like, the timing was so divine, and I can actually offer a room to my mom. I'm like, hey, just come chill here, you know.
How did you get in contact then with your brother? Because we do have Jamal here, and we'll talk to him in a little bit, but how did you get in contact with him? Did you get in contact with your mom first? How did that work? And were they interested in meeting as well?
Yeah, so I didn't know that I had siblings when I did the search, and I was hoping that I did, you know. And come to find out, the search angel was like, hey, you got more than one sibling. Well, because my mom was married, so my mom had stepkids. And she was like, your family is, like, Puerto Rican. She wasn't too sure, you know. And come to find out, they were stepsisters that I had. And then I had 2 brothers that were biological. And I didn't know about Lance, who's the middle one, but I found out when the search angel told me, yeah, you have siblings. And I was like, oh, man, I need to find them then.
Yeah.
You know, they got to know about me. Like, I'm their sister. So I found them, met Mom and Lance, and had dinner with Lance first before I met Mom.
And what was his reaction when he met you?
Oh, man, it was just like, we looked at each other in the eyes, like, all night long. We were just like, oh my God, you look like me, like, you know, like.
So cute.
And was it ever like an awkward moment, or was it just like catching up on everything?
Yeah, it was just catching up on everything. Like, so whenever we met outside first. We were supposed to meet inside, but we actually got out of our cars at the same time, and we were like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God. And he was like, give me your hands. And he just put my hands, and he was just like, he's so affectionate. He was just like, grabbed me. He's just like, man, oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. Like, it was just the best thing ever.
No, question, did he know about you growing? Like, did he know that your mom had a child before him?
And after?
Mm-hmm. He knew about both of us.
What's the age difference?
We're all 2 years apart. So I'm the oldest, and then Jamal's 4 years apart, and then Lance is 2 years apart from me.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so...
And so he knew, but he didn't know, like, where y'all were or anything?
Yeah, he didn't know our last names, anything like that. Actually, he told me, I wasn't going to look for y'all till I graduated college. I didn't want to look stupid.
Yeah.
He was like, I didn't want to be a broke college student, but I kind of came into his life before then. He's still a broke college student.
Do you guys still have a good relationship today?
Yes, we talk all the time. I mean,
You guys hang out?
We hang out. I went to see him at his college. We try to get together as much as possible. He borrows money from me and doesn't pay me back. He's a
just
normal
like a normal sibling. Yep,
yeah.
sounds about right.
Been there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Does he have kids? Like, do you have nieces and nephews yet?
Not yet, and I feel like I'm going to be before them.
That's okay. You are the oldest, so that's fine. It works out.
I mean, I'm hoping they go first, but you know.
Is there a huge difference, and we can ask Jamal too, but is there a huge difference in adoption story for you and for him?
Big time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'll go ahead and say it, but Jamal could tell you the story, but Jamal didn't even know that he was adopted.
You said when the search angel, was it called the search angel?
Yeah.
When the search angel reached out to Jamal, that's when he found out that he was adopted.
Yeah.
And it kind of spiraled from there.
Yeah, it threw him for a loop. He was just like, he was more like, are you sure you have the right person? Like, he probably even gave her a little attitude back, you know, like, quit messing with me, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and, yeah, so he had no earthly idea that he was adopted. I kind of felt bad and selfish at the same time, but at the same time, his response was pretty phenomenal. So I think y'all will enjoy hearing that story from Jamal.
Okay, well, before we get him on, I just wanted to ask one question. Mm-hmm. Would you have rather been in his position and found out that way, or found out when you found out from your parents?
That's a good question, Lindsie.
I think I was better off finding out early on. I really commend and look up to my brother for the way he responded to that. You know, like, not everyone will respond that way, and that level of maturity is something to admire.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's get Jamal on the podcast.
Hey, Jamal, thank you for coming on Coffee Combos.
What's up?
So you've been sitting here listening to the whole interview, so you kind of got the introduction. We would love to hear, you know, kind of your reaction and what you went through when you found out that you were adopted.
Okay. So basically, I think it was January 7th, I believe. It was a Saturday. I was actually at the gym, and I got a message on Facebook, and I'm jamming out to my music, and I'm getting like ding, ding, ding on my phone. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I go ahead and check my Facebook, and there's this lady, Jerry, and she's sending me messages, and she's like, well, I have some information about your half siblings. Come to find out, they're not half; they're full, full siblings. But yeah, she was like, "Oh, I got some information." I'm just like, "Nah, I can't believe this." You know, I'm kind of like, "Nah, you're joking with me. This is spam." You know, something. I think it got to a point where I kind of was asking her questions that were personal about me to see if she knew the answer to those questions that I'm asking her. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, if you know this information, then you should be able to answer these questions for me. So I kind of was just asking her some questions, and at one point she sent me a copy of my birth certificate, and it was kind of like, whoa, okay, you know, like not too many people have that information, so it's like, how do you get that?
Like, I don't think that's personal. Like, what is it called? Public knowledge?
Public record?
Public record.
Public record. Like, she told me where I was adopted from, and like, it was just like, whoa. And then she sent me pictures of everybody. It was just, and then I was still kind of like, oh, nah, man, this is BS. But then she was like, then she said something that was like kind of unprofessional, like, and she was like, no, like, this is for real, like, you need to believe me, like, but not like that, but you know, that's how she was saying it, like, yeah, this is real.
So what was going through your head at that point? Did you immediately go home to your family and be like, what is this? Or were you kind of just like thinking about it and, you know, processing it before you asked any type of questions?
So it was more of a process. Like, I really didn't go home and talk about it at all.
You were trying to process it yourself?
Yeah, process it myself. Yeah. So it took me about maybe like a good 2 weeks before I even brought it up to my parents. You know what I'm saying?
Were you still in contact with Jerry for those 2 weeks, or what was that like?
Actually, no. After me and Jerry were done contacting each other, I think after the day that she told me, that same day we were pretty much done contacting, and we exchanged information. I guess she was like the middleman, and I was kind of like sending her my information to my sister, and then she sent her information to me, And then I had a conversation with Celeste from there, and then that was
I'm
Celeste.
I'm Celeste.
Nick.
That's my first name.
Nick.
Really? What's your middle?
Domenick. Domenick's my middle name. So I go by Nick. It fits me.
So wait,
that's how it works.
back up. So before the Facebook messages, I want to know, do you look like your adoptive parents? Like what?
Okay, so growing up, I mean, a lot of people thought that I looked like my mom, my adopted mom.
Okay.
But, you know, I was telling Nick, you know, I kind of, when I was a kid, you know, I never saw pictures of me, you know, when I was first born or my adopted mom being pregnant or anything like that. So I kind of never...
Right, that piece was missing.
Yeah, that piece was missing.
So did your biological mom put you up for adoption the same way that Nick was put up for adoption, or was this like they brought you home and then...
Nah, I believe it was pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same.
Pretty much
Okay.
the same, yeah.
So after you process this kind of for 2 weeks,
That's like traumatic.
did you approach your and is it adoptive parents? You have two, mom and dad.
Right, yeah.
Did you kind of approach them and say, you know, what's going on?
Okay, yeah. The first person I approached was really my dad, because my dad is like a straightforward person, and he's not like very, very emotional. He can get emotional, but not very emotional. So I kind of went to him first. You know, as a father, you know, his goal is to protect me as much as he can. And
Sure.
so when I went to him, first thing, I mean, I didn't even know how to tell him myself. And I broke down in tears, and he was like, are you okay? Are you in trouble? Did something happen? And I'm like, no. And I just kind of told him, like, this is the information that I got, you know, and I just kind of laid everything on the table. And then from there, he just basically started telling me the reasons why, you know, he didn't tell me and stuff like that.
And
what were those?
they?
Do you mind sharing?
So basically, he felt as if, you know, when I was younger that I wasn't mature enough yet, in a sense to him, or in another sense, he kind of didn't know how to tell me either, you know? Right,
because I mean, at that point, it's been so long, and you guys are all comfortable in your relationships and your family. So, at that point, how do you tell somebody?
Right, and then they have kids that do rebel from their parents. You know, like, oh, I'm adopted. Oh, you're not my parents anyway.
Right.
You know, I don't want to deal with you guys anymore. You know, like, so yeah, I can see that. I can see that being a good reason to not tell me. You know?
So then, did you guys then go to your mom and say that you knew?
So basically, after I had a talk with my dad went to my mom.
Okay.
And saw so they had a conversation. I really don't know what their conversation was, but once I talked to my mom, it was pretty much the same thing that me and my dad talked about. It was pretty much the same.
Okay, people, who's joining me on this fitness journey? Because it better be everyone. I don't want to be doing this by myself.
Yes, join us by using OpenFit, which is basically the Netflix of workout videos, because they have something for everyone, and you can do it from a tablet, phone, computer, wherever.
They have celebrity trainers, programs like Extend Bar, where you can get a bar workout without an expensive membership and tons of equipment. OpenFit gets that everybody is different, so they have custom, tailored, original content.
I personally don't do yoga, but I feel like it's something that I should get more into. I need something that's slow-paced, and I have major anxiety, so I think that's something that would really help me and slow me down. OpenFit has changed the way we work out, and with our code COFFEE, you can join us on a fitness journey personalized just for you. Again, use our code COFFEE and start using OpenFit for your journey to a healthier life. Right now, during the OpenFit 30-day challenge, our listeners will get a special extended 30-day free trial membership to OpenFit, where you can lose up to 15 pounds in 30 days when you text COFFEE to 303030. You'll get full access to OpenFit, all the workouts and nutrition information totally free. Again, just text COFFEE to 303030.
Was there resentment for you towards Jerry or Nick in how you found out? Like, did you feel any type of resentment or, like, I guess, anger?
No.
Or towards your parents at all?
I'll say, with my parents, not anger. Maybe a little overwhelmed. Well, I was overwhelmed with Jerry, and with my parents, it was more so like just disappointed a little bit.
Sure.
You know, and I mean, but there's a bunch of different emotions running through my head at that point.
I feel like...
How do you process that?
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
The situation with Jerry is a little weird to me just from an outsider's perspective, because it's almost like a catch-22, right? Because on one hand, she's helping Nick, who wants to find her family and her biological siblings. But on the other hand, she has no idea if she's about to ruin another family's whole life. Functionality in life.
Yeah.
So I feel like she was kind of in a position where maybe she could have approached it a little bit differently. Like maybe reached out to your parents and said, this is the situation at hand. Does he know he's adopted? Do you want him to, can I reach out? You know what I mean? Instead of being so abrasive, because I feel like, I found out that, my mom's husband at the time wasn't my dad, when I was like 12. And the way that I found out was very abrasive like that. So it's like, I mean, I guess I knew that he wasn't my dad, but like them saying it, was a little bit different.
Confirmation.
So it was just like, you don't even have the right to tell me that.
Yeah.
Well, and then the next question, I feel like, have you asked your parents if Jerry would have never reached out? Would they have ever told you?
Okay, so basically their plan was to just tell me, I guess, whenever I got married. But in a sense, to me, that's, I guess, too late.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, that's too late for me.
That's a long time.
So I'm pretty happy that I found out the way I did.
I feel like kids are very resilient, and I have no place to really put judgment on this, but I do feel like just listening to both of y'all's stories, like to find out as a younger child, you don't feel like you're living a lie or that you're missing something, and you have your whole life and you learn to understand it as you go, where as an adult, you're an adult, right?
Right.
You're already who you are. You think you are who you are. You know what I mean? So I feel like it would be harder to come to terms with as an adult.
Yeah, that's why I really commend the way he handled it, because I don't know how I would have responded,
Did you want to meet your mom right away, or was that something that you were kind of apprehensive about?
No, I wanted to meet her.
You did?
Yeah.
I think it's just like natural instinct. I mean, just like parents have a mother has maternal instinct. I think it's like kids have like a natural instinct to like want to know, especially their mother.
Yeah.
Well, so I asked Nick if she had any resentment towards y'all's mom, your biological mom, for giving you guys up for adoption. Did you feel resentment, or did you feel any type of?
No, I didn't have any resentment from my mom at all. It was emotional, but I didn't really have any resentment towards her. I mean, like Nick, I had a great life. You know what I'm saying? I was the only child as well, so I got pretty much everything I wanted as a kid growing up. So I mean, I'm not upset with her. I'm just happy that I'm able to be here to I guess bring joy to her life. You know what I'm saying? Make it better for her.
How did your family, your parents, feel about you meeting her?
Okay, so my dad was really excited about it. Actually, my dad, he's very positive about it. My mom, she was a little bit emotional about it. She was a little upset, like, oh, why did your sister have to find you like that? And why did they find you? But she eventually got over that. It just took time.
In Nick's defense, I mean, she didn't have Jerry reach out to you in that way, right? It was just kind of the way it all kind of fell together.
Right. It didn't happen that way at all. She was just emotionally upset, and just doesn't want to lose her son.
Of course.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I could understand being like, I'm not an adoptive mom, but if I was, I could understand, like, you've raised this baby.
Like, this is your baby.
And you've raised him. And don't want somebody to come in and like
change everything,
and like make claim on something that you deem as your child,
right? Yeah.
You know, and that would be hard, and especially you can't deny a biological bond. You know, I mean, there's just something. I don't know if you had it with your mom whenever you first saw her, or if you did, but I just think that a lot of people have that natural.
Yeah, I would say that. Do you have a relationship with Lance, your other brother?
Oh, yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so crazy. This is like literally the best case scenario of an adoptive story. Like, I don't think I've ever heard like such a like happy, cohesive story.
Yeah.
When it comes to adoption, I feel like you always hear horror stories, and it kind of puts a stigma on it, and it's like, oh, you gave your baby away because you know you suck, and that's just not the case ever.
Yeah.
And it really just worked out for everybody involved.
Yeah.
So could your parents not have kids either?
Yeah, they couldn't have kids.
Okay.
We talk about that infertility, secondary infertility, all the time on our podcast, and so and we talked to Reagan about her fertility journey and stuff like that. So I feel like it's good to talk about, you know, the couples who can't have kids and get to adopt. And we get a lot of requests for that. So I'm just like blown away by this story. I literally sobbed when I read it on Twitter. I was like, this is not real.
Well, so did either of you, I mean, when you met your mom, like, what was that?
Were you guys together when you met her?
No.
You met her on separate occasions?
You're right.
Yeah.
And was Lance there, or it was also separate?
Lance was there both times.
Yeah, Lance was there.
So you met them both at once? Like, you met Lance and your mom, and then you met Lance and your mom?
Well, I met Lance a day before I met my mom, so he wanted to meet me first. That way, you know, make sure I'm not a crazy. So we met in Deep Ellum in Dallas, and he was with his girlfriend, and we linked, and he had pictures of me. He's like, just so you know, I'm legit. Here's your baby pictures, you know.
Your mom saved them?
Yeah, she had a whole box of our items, like put in the attic and stuff, and she pulled down what she could find. But so I met with Lance, and he was like, "Hey, there's another one of us," you know. And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, there's another one."
So
Same
you
dad.
met Lance before you found out you had Jamal?
Yeah, before I even knew Jamal existed, I thought it was just me and Lance. Yep. And
so what was your reaction then?
I was like, can we find him? That was the first question. I was like, can we find him? Do y'all know where he is? What's his name? And he was like, we don't have anything.
So your adoptive parents gave you guys your names?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And it was closed, so obviously
Lance wouldn't have known, or your mom wouldn't even have known. So did your mom pick the families?
I believe so. My mom, I mean,
her family, I believe,
kind of landed in her lap, you know, and
yours, right? But yours, maybe not.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
His was a little different. He was at a church for a few days before he got adopted, but he went through the church, so it was a little different.
Yeah.
That's so
that
crazy.
Literally breaks my heart.
I know. I literally was tearing up before we introduced Jamal, because I was like, I don't even know how you guys didn't just bawl your way through this whole process.
Man,
we shedded our tears.
When I think about like the first moment that I heard Jamal's voice on the phone and me having to tell him, like, I cried.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, a lot.
So wait, what does that look like? Because I know that I've heard that before, that, you know, kids go to like churches and stuff before they find, you know, a suitable family for them to go to. So like, what does that look like? Are they with a church family?
Or did your mom just like take him to church? Like, you know, they do like that drop off thing. Was it like that type of situation?
No, it was a setup thingy. It was she went to the church and they already had families ready for adopting.
That wanted to adopt.
Yeah, and so mom would go visit Jamal, and I think it was like maybe a week that he was there.
It was like an orphanage, I think. Something like that. Like an orphanage. With kids.
But he was already...
Of all ages or just infants?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but it was definitely like an orphanage kind of thing.
Yeah, and it was literally like 9 days. Mom would go visit him back and forth until he got adopted. So that's how he has baby pictures of
Who picked the family then?
I believe the church does it at that point. Yeah, like even my family kind of landed in our mom's lap, so it's not like she picked them, but they
But not really, they kind of... Right,
you know?
right.
So, yeah, with Jamal, it was a little different, but I guess she felt a little more comfortable because it went through a church, you know, and
she was going to find
give her
decent
peace of
people,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
What a crazy story.
So wait, did you guys grow up in similar areas or no?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Southwest Houston.
Okay, and where did you grow up?
I grew up in Dallas, so I lived in the suburbs in Irving, Texas.
And then your brother Lance?
Euless.
Euless. So when I found them, they were living
what's the
5 minutes away.
radius?
They were
5 minutes.
5 minutes away.
Wow.
I was living 5 minutes away from my mom's house for the last 5 years.
And I was living 5 hours away.
Do you... Oh.
Yeah.
So wait, your parents, they weren't members of the church. The church just, I guess, had like a list of...
Like an affiliation?
Yeah, maybe like an affiliation where they were looking for...
Yeah, probably. You know, it was in the 90s, so I'm assuming that...
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like
were
what
all
would...
different then, but yeah, Jamal... that church, I don't. My mom didn't go to that church. You know, like it was just probably the hospital connected her with that. You know, I'm not sure. That's something we'd have to ask mom.
So did I'm assuming your parents drove from Houston to get you and took you back?
Right. They got a phone call from the church. I think it was more like from them. From what I know, it was like they had like to do a little application. You know, and it took time. Like it was like a process behind it, and I guess the church called them, and so that's when they came to pick me up.
Okay, so we know that Nick's dad has like had dinner and stuff with your biological mom. Have your parents been as involved in that side of the process, or is it basically just like you building your relationship with her on your own?
Right now, I guess it's me building my relationship with her alone. My dad definitely wants to meet my mom, of course. He's met Celeste, so that's a good thing. My mom, she's kind of standoffish still, you know, but that takes time, you know. That takes time. She just has to get used to.
And she'll come around.
Yeah, she'll definitely come around. I think now she's in a better place, and she kind of wants to meet everybody now. Because every time Nick has came out to Houston, she was like, "Oh, why didn't you tell me your sister was here?" you know, I want to meet her. I could have cooked, you know, stuff like that. So I think everything is.
You've got to think about like all the emotions that are involved in the whole process. Like you have emotions as the child that was adopted, you know, and still have a biological mother that's living, and then you've got the mother that raised you. That I'm sure she feels like a piece of her is like missing now, you know, because what she thought was going to be closed is now open,
right?
You know,
right.
I don't know if they should really do closed adoption at this point, because what if the child, in a sense of like the child turning 18 and wanting to find their parents, they should have that right if they want to. But when it's closed and it doesn't leave them any like information to the child, that's not necessarily fair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where
I feel like when the child is an adult,
they should
be
have
able to make the
access.
decision,
right?
you know, and have access to know what they were birthed from,
right.
You know?
You're giving away all your rights.
Because, or I mean, do they not leave like their health history with the adoptive parents for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they do, though.
Yeah, I think
or you just didn't have access to it?
I just didn't know because my mom was the person or my adopted mom was the person that I would go to for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my dad is like just there for moral support, you know? So I needed my adopted mom to tell me those things, and I didn't know because she had gone. But afterwards, my dad gave me a big old box of like all my adoption stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I found like old looking adoption paper where it had my actual last name before it changed and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like my last name was Jimenez. And yeah, everything. It's crazy.
Now it's not.
No.
Is it?
It's Flores now.
Are your you said you're Mexican and
black. So our father is actually Jamaican. Our grandfather is Jamaican.
Are your adoptive parents Mexican?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I got taught Spanish.
And what about your parents?
They're African American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't even know he was half Mexican.
I mean, I got clown in school. You know.
You did?
Yeah. People was like, oh, you got mixed hair, mixed people hair. You know,
My
you
son
might
is-
be Indian. You might be Mexican.
My
you know?
son is black and Mexican, and he's got long black hair. But it's like mine, but black.
Yeah. Hey, it's a hit or miss on the hair, man.
Right.
I got screwed.
Right.
You have nice hair.
miss
Stop
on the
it.
Man, I got screwed.
I got blessed.
I see
Thanks,
black
Mom.
and Mexican kids with like luscious curls and stuff, and I'm like, boy, if I had that hair,
My son's hair
I'd be
is
killing the game.
stick straight.
So wait, so does Lance look more like you or more like you?
Right in the middle.
Yeah, I feel like he looks like me how I look when I was a baby.
Like the birth order,
Well, he
right
looks
in the
like
middle?
he looks like me as a baby too. So
Yeah. So I don't know, because when you put us all together, people are like, dang, y'all look alike. And I have people that are like, you and Lance look just alike. And then I have people that are like, you and Jamal look just alike. So
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me that you guys all have the same exact parents.
I know. That's what was crazy.
I think one of the weirdest parts to like hear, because I feel like if it was you all had different dads, or it was a little more dysfunctional, I would be like, okay, like I could see, but like you
But
don't
it
really
seems
have
like
the same
a very
parents.
functional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a functionally dysfunctional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is so weird. But like I said, it's like the perfect adoption story because everything worked out.
Yeah, I literally asked Mom when I found out about Jamal. I was like, can we look for him? And she was like, I don't know. I can give you his date of birth, but his family, because I guess a long time ago, Mom, it used to be like Mom was allowed to reach out and stuff. And
For you?
For myself and for
Your parents let your biological mom reach out for a little while.
Yeah, she used to send letters to my mom, my adopted mom.
So is that considered a closed adoption? Or not really?
I'm not
You're not sure.
But
Yeah.
I know she used to send letters, and then I guess my mom was like, "Yeah, you
No
can't-
more.
Yeah, stop sending
and
letters."
same
yeah.
for my family too. Like, all right, it's
I
time
wonder
for
if
you
they
to
still
go.
have them.
I mean, at least you have,
maybe.
that your mom did it all out of a good place. It wasn't coming from anything other than wanting the best for y'all. You know what I mean? Do y'all call her mom?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
And
man, she gave birth to us.
Yeah, and it's crazy because our mom is super conservative. So like I'm out and gay, and
I was going to
Gay.
ask you about
Out
that, but
gay.
I didn't know how. I didn't know if we were going to
so
go
I
down
came
that
out
route.
the closet again.
And what was her reaction to that?
She was like, I may not condone it, but I'm gonna love you unconditionally. I don't care like what it is, So I feel like me and Jamal coming into her life has opened up new doors in her
Right.
mind, like just to how to unconditionally love people and just get out of that, I don't want to offend nobody, but religious mindset, because
Yeah.
it kind of sucks you in, and she lives her life fully for God, which I'm proud of that, and
But also accepting you.
exactly, like kind of helping her understand that things are okay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Has your fiance met her?
yes, she's met her. They get along. She loves her, and she
And
wants
they went to New York
grandkids.
together. Went on a trip together.
Yeah,
They did?
They went on a trip before I even got to go out with my mom. My mom took her to New York. I'm like,
But you know what? That's so good though, because it comes full circle and it brings it back to like the idea of her accepting and like really opening doors for her, and just being open minded to everything. When you found out that Nick was gay, did you have did you care at all?
Not really. I mean, my dad's side of the family, there's studs on his side of the family. Yeah,
You said there's studs on his
studs on his side of the family.
Lindsay
yeah.
didn't know what a stud was.
I didn't
had
know
to
what
explain it to
yeah.
her.
good thing you're in the loop now.
I'm glad I'm in the loop.
My aunt, she's lesbian, and
Okay, so they're very accepting of it.
biologically or you're adoptive?
adoptive.
Okay, wow,
Adoptive.
okay.
So they're
I
kind
was
of-
already kind of around it. I mean,
Like,
so,
yeah.
So it wasn't a shock for me, I mean, I thought it was cool. She likes what I like. She dresses how I dress.
Wait,
It's not hard to find gifts. You know what I'm saying?
is a stud like something that's like a new thing?
No,
Nah.
that's been around for a while. I
Yeah,
feel
It's like a word that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like more of a brown thing, like studs. Okay, so like white people would call it butch, but
No, I wouldn't call it that.
But it's more common that you hear in like Hispanic or African American people. They call masculine women who dress like guys studs. It's literally just the way you dress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I hate labels.
Lindsay's like, I don't understand the labels.
Yeah.
Don't get
But
it.
I don't call her a stud. I don't call her a stud. She sis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't feel like it has to be like
a thing.
Yeah.
I agree. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Just for a lack of better words. When did you come out? Like, when did you realize?
I came out at 13, but I knew that I was gay.
To your parents?
Yeah, to my adopted. Yeah.
Okay.
I just came out the closet at 13. I knew I was gay for a long time. I just didn't know that gay was a thing. You know, like I didn't know like there was a word for what I'm feeling. You know, I was just.
What was her reaction to it?
I told my mom first, and she was like, "Don't tell your dad." And
like supportive, but don't tell your dad.
Yeah, like
okay, this is fine. Just don't tell him.
Yeah, just don't tell your dad. And she actually cried. So, and
do you
I was
think
crying.
she knew though? Before?
Yeah, she told me she knew. She was like, I knew because I didn't want to do the traditional female things, you know, like I didn't want to
wear dresses and do dances.
I didn't. That was the main thing. Like in the Hispanic culture, you have a quinceañera when you turn 15.
You didn't
and
want
I was
one.
like, nah. I was like, if I have one, can we wear jersey dresses? And she was like, I'll do whatever you want to do as long as you have one. And then I just kind of opted out, and I was like, nah, I don't want to wear any dress. If that's cool, you know. And she was like, that's fine. But she said she knew at that moment for sure, like, man, you're going to be gay. And I came out at 13, and then later to my dad, he found a note, probably like when I was 16, that I wrote to this girl, a very provocative note on Valentine's Day.
Oh, wow.
And
well, that's embarrassing.
Taco.
Yeah.
So awkward, but he handled it way better. I was like, damn, I should have just told you first. He was like, man, I have gay cousins. He's like, anything you need to tell me, you tell me. I'm going to always be there
but
for you.
Maybe he knew, too.
Yeah, no, I don't know. He acted like he didn't.
Why was your mom afraid then?
I don't know. I guess she didn't feel like going down that route. You know, just maybe they never had that conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know, because my dad handled it pretty well. I was like, man, I should have told you first. Like, what was I thinking?
So wait, your mom knew for like 3 years before your dad knew?
Yeah. And
3 years?
Yeah, and my dad
I must have missed that part.
No, she said that she came out at 13 to her mom.
Oh, and then the dad found the note at 16.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like I had girlfriends and stuff, like,
and he had no idea.
Wait, so
no idea.
Was your mom letting you have sleepovers at your house with your dad not knowing that you were gay?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
So
she
the way
shut it down.
She found out was horrible. I had lied to my mom, and it's the first time that online things were like happening in MySpace and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I had this girl move in with us. I was like, Mom, she has nowhere to go, this and that. Like, totally manipulated my mom, and had this girl living with us, and she was my girlfriend. And yeah. And
wait, this was at 13?
Yeah. And so
13?
Yeah, and we were at
Where
church.
were her parents?
I just found out what thongs were at 13. I didn't even know that this was a thing, like living with each other and all that.
Thanks to AOL Instant Messenger, we connected.
AIM.
Yeah.
AIM.
We connected.
Did you stick up your away message?
Yeah.
Around the house, BRB.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is
G2G.
Right.
Exactly.
TTYL.
Oh my gosh. Like, so yeah, she moved in, and we were at church when I had to tell my parents. So this lady that found out, she was my friend's mom, and she was a lesbian in her past life, she said. And she
What
was
the
like,
fuck?
Yeah.
You don't be a lesbian in your past life.
Right.
You're either...
That's another story.
Yeah.
You straight or you like?
Yeah.
So she was like, you have to tell your mom, no matter what, tell your mom. And so she went up to my parents right after church, me, my mom, my dad, my girlfriend. And she goes, hey, she has something to tell y'all when y'all get home from church. Boy, that ride home was so silent, awkward. My mom was like, I know when my mom was upset because she'd open her eyes real big. I was like, oh. She was like, another parent is telling me that you have something to tell me. Like, what could it be?
You couldn't have made something up at that point?
Man,
I would have been like, I failed a Spanish test, but I don't even have Spanish.
Oh, man. But I was so scared that they might talk, and, you know, she brought it up like, hey, did she tell you that she was gay, you know? And it's weird because she was fully supportive that I was gay. She just thought my parents should know.
Yeah, but she didn't need... That was not her place.
Wasn't her place.
That was not her position
really
or her business.
Yeah, I was really upset. But, yeah, my mom was crying, and it went on, and
That's horrible.
Everything ended up being okay.
So did your girlfriend still live there?
Right,
no.
that's the
You're
real
leaving me. You're leaving me hanging.
Yeah. So my mom told me she had 2 weeks to get out. She was out in a week.
Okay.
So where'd she go? And did y'all stay together?
No, we didn't. I was 13. Like, that was the first time that, the next week I was with some other girl or something.
Yeah.
Doing my own thing.
Oh my God.
I was like the only stud at school until like for a while, like my junior year. And I was like living the best life.
Living the best life with all the girls.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, I always love to hear like how people come out to their parents, because you sometimes hear people say like the craziest stories.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes
And I'm like, why is this even a thing? Like, why is this like, why are people coming out?
Well, you don't come out as straight, right? So
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
what's
saying.
the point? My mom's older brother never came out. Like, it was just like we knew, and we accept him and his husband. We don't care, and it's just not talked about.
I feel like you should just come out.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you do, that's what you do.
I just think like you just live your life to how you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
But then you hear like horror stories that they're like won't accept their kids, or you're going to be out of the will.
But that's also not normal.
Horrible. No, it's not.
Yeah, like the majority of homeless youth is LGBT because they're getting kicked out of their homes. So,
But I just don't see how. I just don't see how you could do that to your kid.
yeah, that's crazy to me. Like, it shouldn't even be your business about who
What
the next man is
sexuality.
sleeping with.
Right,
Like, I
it's
don't
nobody's
care.
business.
You're not
especially
worried
your
about
kids.
me, so like, why am I? Like, I don't.
Especially your kids. Like, what? I don't care how you're having sex or what you're doing when you have sex. Like,
Oh, I probably care. I
Do your
just.
thing.
She said, I probably care.
And like practicing safe and like all of that, but
Yeah, that stuff. Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know. And maybe it's just because we're all raised in a different time. Maybe like things will change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that
you know?
generation. Yeah, for sure.
Let us know like your YouTube channel, your social medias, where people can find you.
Cool. So I have 4 YouTube channels. My main channel started with my best friend is Studology 101. Studology 101, class in session. And the next channel is with me and my fiance, Nick and Les. And then I have my own channel called Nah, It's Nick. And my brother has a YouTube channel too.
Right. So my YouTube channel is A-Leaf King Lock. I go by that on every social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, everything. So, yeah, I'm a musician.
If the girls want to Snapchat him,
Right.
that's where you can find him.
Are you single?
Oh, yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Right in the background.
snap. But yeah, like little project I have going on right now, kind of not little, really big project, Gold Leaf CBD. So that's something I just landed a brand deal 2 weeks ago, and we are doing everything we can to release this product by June 1st. So like I'm being pulled left and right now.
We need to do a giveaway, a collab.
I think so.
We should do a huge giveaway for it, because obviously Pothead is CBD.
Absolutely.
We can
CBD's
offer a discount code or whatever. Yeah, well, Kim Kardashian's coming out with one.
Oh, it's
with a
okay.
line. So I'm like,
we got this.
we were first. At least we can say that.
Man.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for telling your story and being a part of Coffee Combos podcast.
We appreciate it.
Guys, thank you.
For real, we appreciate y'all.
All right, guys, I think that's all we have time for today. If you have not subscribed to us, you can do that by typing in Coffee Convos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, and you can leave us a written review. We love to read those. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.